When a gorilla encounters a crocodile, the scenario is one that plays out in the wild with extraordinary consequences, given the contrasting nature of these two animals. Gorillas, the largest of the primates, are herbivores that typically live in dense forests, while crocodiles are formidable predators inhabiting rivers, lakes, and swamps. The interaction between such different species could involve numerous factors, including habitat, behavior, physical characteristics, and instincts. In this detailed exploration, we'll examine a gorilla's encounter with a crocodile from various angles, their natural histories, their survival strategies, and how each species might respond to an interaction. The natural histories of gorillas and crocodiles. Gorillas. Masters of the forest. Gorillas are large primates native to Central Africa. They are primarily herbivores, feeding on leaves, stems, and fruits, although they may occasionally consume insects or small animals. Gorillas live in dense forests and mountain regions where they form tight-knit social groups called troops. These groups are led by a dominant male, often called a silverback, who assumes responsibility for the safety and well-being of the group. Gorillas are intelligent, using tools, social structure, and intricate vocalizations to communicate. Their incredible strength and size are their primary defenses against predators, but they are not usually aggressive unless provoked. Gorillas generally avoid conflict and prefer to stay within their home ranges, which are protected by their social structure. Gorillas are not known to encounter many natural predators due to their formidable size and strength, but their interactions with other animals can occur at the edges of their territory. Crocodiles. Apex predators of the water. Crocodiles, on the other hand, are one of the most ancient species on Earth, having existed for over 200 million years. Crocodiles are large reptiles found in tropical regions of Africa, Asia, the Americas, and Australia. They are carnivorous predators and are known for their excellent hunting skills. Their primary diet consists of fish, birds, and mammals, but they have been known to take down much larger prey, including zebras, antelope, and even wildebeests. Crocodiles are ambush hunters, typically lying in wait along the banks of rivers or lakes, where they can launch an explosive attack when prey comes near. Their powerful jaws and sharp teeth are capable of delivering a bone-crushing grip, making them one of the most effective predators in the wild. Although crocodiles can move on land, they are much more agile and dangerous in the water, where they use their long, muscular tails to propel themselves at incredible speeds. Potential overlap of habitats. Though gorillas and crocodiles are rarely found in the same environments, there is some overlap in their geographic ranges. Gorillas typically live in dense forests and mountains, but they can also inhabit areas near rivers or lakes, especially in Central Africa. Crocodiles, particularly species like the Nile crocodile, can also inhabit freshwater environments such as rivers, lakes, and swamps across Africa, potentially leading to an encounter if a gorilla ventures close to the water. The likelihood of an interaction depends on the environment the gorilla inhabits. Gorillas living near the edge of rivers or swamps are at higher risk of encountering a crocodile, especially if they venture into the water or approach the shore for any reason. The encounter. What happens? The gorilla's response to threat. Gorillas are highly intelligent animals with a sophisticated social structure. They are not aggressive by nature, preferring to avoid conflict. However, when faced with a direct threat, gorillas can react in several ways. A gorilla might issue a warning display by vocalizing, pounding its chest, or using body language to assert dominance or warn off an intruder. If a gorilla encounters a predator, its initial instinct would be to flee or find a way to escape. Gorillas are agile and quick, able to climb trees and move swiftly across the forest floor. A gorilla may attempt to retreat to higher ground or escape into dense vegetation to avoid direct confrontation with the predator. However, if cornered or threatened directly, a gorilla will fight back with its immense strength, using powerful limbs and sharp teeth to defend itself. The crocodile's hunting strategy. Crocodiles are expert ambush predators, often using the element of surprise to catch prey. Their strategy revolves around patience and precision. A crocodile will typically lie in wait at the water's edge, partially submerged, until it detects prey nearby. The moment the prey ventures close enough, the crocodile will launch itself with lightning speed, using its powerful jaws to capture and drag the victim into the water. Crocodiles are opportunistic predators, and they are capable of attacking any vulnerable creature that approaches the water, including mammals. Their ambush hunting strategy is extremely effective against prey that comes to the water's edge for drinking, such as zebras, antelope, or even large primates like gorillas. In an encounter with a gorilla, the crocodile would likely rely on the same ambush technique, attempting to grab the gorilla's limbs or torso before it can react. The crocodile would aim to drag the gorilla into the water, where it would have the advantage due to its superior swimming abilities. Potential outcomes of the encounter. The outcome of a gorilla-crocodile encounter would depend on several factors, including the size and strength of the gorilla, the proximity of the crocodile, and the environment in which the encounter occurs. Gorilla in the water. If the gorilla inadvertently enters the water, the crocodile might attempt to ambush it, launching an attack with its powerful jaws. A gorilla is capable of fighting back in the water, but its ability to defend itself would be limited compared to the crocodile. Gorillas are much more comfortable on land than in water, which would put them at a disadvantage if the battle were to take place in the crocodile's domain. However, a gorilla's strength, agility, and intelligence may still allow it to escape or fend off the crocodile if the encounter happens near the shore. If the gorilla is able to reach a safer area, such as climbing a nearby tree or finding solid ground, it could avoid being captured or killed. Gorilla on land. On land, the gorilla has a significant advantage over the crocodile. The crocodile's movements are slower and less effective on land, and it would struggle to move quickly enough to launch a successful attack on a gorilla. If a crocodile were to venture out of the water and approach a gorilla, the gorilla could use its agility and intelligence to avoid the predator or use its powerful arms to defend itself. Gorillas are capable of delivering devastating blows with their fists, and if the gorilla were to engage the crocodile directly, it could potentially injure or kill the reptile with one well-placed strike. However, gorillas are not typically aggressive unless provoked, so it is unlikely that they would engage in a battle unless they had no other option. Crocodile grabbing the gorilla. If the crocodile successfully grabs hold of the gorilla, it could drag the primate into the water, where the struggle would intensify. In the water, the crocodile's superior swimming ability would give it the upper hand. The gorilla, being out of its element, would have difficulty escaping the crocodile's powerful grip. At this point, the crocodile would attempt to drown the gorilla by performing a death roll, a technique used to disorient and tear apart its prey. The gorilla would likely fight back with all its strength, but in the water, it would be at a serious disadvantage. The crocodile's immense power and lethal bite would make it a formidable adversary. The role of intelligence and adaptation. While the physical characteristics and behaviors of both animals play a significant role in determining the outcome of an encounter, the intelligence of the gorilla could provide it with an edge in certain situations. Gorillas are known to use tools and display remarkable problem-solving abilities, so in an encounter with a crocodile, the gorilla might try to use its environment to its advantage. For example, a gorilla might use rocks or sticks to defend itself or create a barrier between itself and the crocodile. Gorillas are also capable of communicating with each other and coordinating actions, so if the encounter involves multiple gorillas, the group might work together to fend off the crocodile. On the other hand, crocodiles are also highly adaptable and can learn from past experiences. A crocodile that encounters a gorilla might modify its approach based on the gorilla's reactions, making it a highly unpredictable encounter. Conclusion. The unlikely encounter. The chance of a gorilla and a crocodile coming into contact is relatively low, given that they tend to inhabit different types of ecosystems. However, if such an encounter were to occur, the outcome would depend on several factors, including the environment, the proximity of the animals, and their individual behaviors. On land, the gorilla holds a significant advantage, while in the water, the crocodile would likely have the upper hand due to its superior swimming abilities and ambush tactics. Ultimately, such an encounter would likely be brief and result in the gorilla fleeing or avoiding direct conflict, especially if the gorilla has the option to retreat to safety. In most cases, gorillas would use their intelligence, agility, and social structure to navigate away from danger, leaving the crocodile with little opportunity for a successful hunt.